If you wanted to create the best starting five lineup in NBA history, it would obviously be LeBron at one, Steph at the two, Kawhi at the three, KD at the four, and Wemby at the five. Look, this is obvious. There is no debate. LeBron, although he is a natural small forward and power forward, he is the best ball distributor, just overall point guard. You know, when we talk about point guard, we don't just mean the shortest guy in the lineup that shoots from deep. That's not what a point guard truly is. You know, when you think of a point guard, you think of a Steve Nash. That's LeBron in terms of IQ, in terms of passing, but bigger, but taller, but stronger, but better at shooting threes, but better. LeBron is the best point guard, the best ball handler in history. At shooting guard, look, we've got the best shooter in history. Stephen Curry, he demands a double. He demands everybody kind of condense into him. He's the best floor spacer in history. Now, he's a bit of a defensive liability, but when you've got LeBron, Kawhi, KD, and Wemby, you don't need to worry about who Steph's defending. At the three, obviously, we've got Kawhi. Kawhi and KD, I pick for kind of the same reasons. Look, Kawhi may be the best defender of all time in terms of his versatility, 1 through 5. He's a long, very stocky and strong guy. Kawhi could defend the two very easily. He could defend your point guard. If you've got an elite point guard and you don't have a good shooting guard, you stick Steph on the shooting guard, and Kawhi can lock up that point guard. If it's Kobe, if it's MJ, whatever special team you're trying to build to stop this lineup. KD adds a lot of length, you know, depending on who we're playing against. Kevin Durant, with his length, he would definitely give a run for the money. Larry Bird or Tim Duncan or Dirk. Now, he's a little skinny, no doubt, but we've got a lot of length in this lineup. And if the weight is an issue, LeBron could defend the four. So I think this team is very versatile. Offensively, it creates a lot of problems. Look, just from a pick and roll IQ standpoint, LeBron and Wemby in the pick and roll, kicking it out to KD, kicking it out to Kawhi, kicking out to Steph. I mean, who's the fifth option on this lineup? I guess probably Wemby. But Wemby near the rim has to be the primary option. And then you kick it to Steph. Steph swings it to LeBron. I mean, this lineup would be insane offensively. And Kawhi and KD are guys that don't need a lot of shots. They take 8, 9, in this offense, would take 8, 9, 10 shots a game. And they'd be, over 50% in terms of efficiency. Wemby, once again, you know, when all eyes are not on him, he flourishes. Same thing with Steph. And LeBron, he's an amazing distributor. Now, defensively, how would you even really attack this team? You know, Steph is defensively the weakness. But our second worst defender is probably Kevin Durant. And with his length, unless he's defending a joker like big man, which we've got LeBron, we've got Wemby, we've got Kawhi to all throw bodies at that. I think defensively, this team, in terms of length, in terms of athleticism, in terms of I think this would be the best team. I don't think you can create a team that would be able to defeat this. You could pick MJ, Kobe, Bird, Duncan, Shaq. I don't think it matters. I think this team would beat everybody. Now, if you were to go the physicality route, because, if you were to try to build, if you're going to beat this team, you've got to go aggressively in one or two directions. You got to go aggressively in the all offense or aggressively in the physicality. Now, if you go all offense, you're not really, maybe you could find five better offensive players. You know, if we're just looking at shot creating and ISO and all of that stuff, maybe you could find five guys better. But defensively, they'd be so much worse that it wouldn't even matter. But we're talking about physicality first. If you were to build a lineup of Kobe at the point, you would have kind of that advantage over Steph. You know, when you're on offense, Kobe would be taller, he'd be longer. That would be the advantage there. LeBron at shooting guard. You would have Giannis at small forward, Kevin Garnett at power forward, and Shaq at center. So this team, and obviously we've got LeBron on both of them, but this team from a physicality standpoint, I mean, look, they're bigger, no doubt. This team is definitely bigger in terms of KG, Giannis, LeBron, Kobe, Shaq. Maybe it's even better defensively by a little bit. I still think that this normal team with LeBron, Steph, Kawhi, KD, and Wemby, I think they would win. Look, the only route for this physicality team is if Giannis plays bully ball with KD, if Shaq plays bully ball with Wemby, obviously LeBron's cancel out. Maybe this team would get bullied a little bit, my normal team, but I still think that between all of my defensive weapons I can throw at Shaq and at Giannis, I think my team would handle business. Now, the all-offensive team that I created that could potentially attack this juggernaut team is an all-offense team. And the top, we've got three ball handlers. I don't really specifically know where you would put them: point guard, shooting guard, small forward. You've got James Harden, you've got Michael Jordan, you've got Luka. Then you've got Dirk or Porzingis. I'm not sure who would fit better with a Jokic-led offense. So Jokic is the center. Then you've got Dirk or Porzingis. Probably, I'd say Porzingis in terms of floor spacing. Maybe Dirk. I don't know. Obviously, we're talking like prime Porzingis. You know, those one-game stretches where he drops 35 on crazy efficiency. And then Luka, MJ, and Harden. And look, that team, just from a pure ISO standpoint, all those guys can score on anybody, especially in their prime. I mean, Luka's prime, Harden's prime, MJ's prime. Maybe we go Joker. Those guys all average 35 in their prime. So look, if they get hot and get a few lucky defensive stops, I think they maybe could get the job done.